Coming up on BCN today, a number of resolutions passed at City Hall include privatizing NMAX Center and school buses. We have the details. Plus, a tentative agreement has been reached in the CN rail strike. And a deadly 6.4 magnitude earthquake hits Albania earlier today, killing at least 4, injuring 150, and toppling buildings.
Your Canada. Your Southern Alberta. Your stories. From our studios in the heart of Lethbridge, it's BCN Today with Jeanette Roche.
Hello, thank you for joining us. The CN rail strike may be coming to an end. A tentative agreement has been reached by the union and the railway, meaning normal operations will resume tomorrow morning. The Teamsters Canada Rail Conference is thanking Prime Minister Justin Trudeau for respecting the workers' right to strike and acknowledging the government's help in ending a week-old strike at CN Rail. Yesterday, hundreds of Quebec farmers marched to the Prime Minister's Montreal riding office and dumped bags of corn on the steps as they demanded Ottawa end the strike. A 66-year-old Colehurst woman is dead following a collision at the intersection of Highway 3 and Colehurst. Last night at approximately 7:15 p.m., RCMP responded to the accident involving a white VW Jetta and a red Ford Escape. The Jetta, traveling westbound on Highway 3, collided with the Escape, which was stopped at the stop sign on 51st Street in Colehurst. The driver of the Ford Escape was pronounced deceased at the scene. She was the only occupant. The driver of the Jetta was taken to Chinook Regional Hospital with undetermined but non-life-threatening injuries. Lethbridge's city manager is being directed to explore options to help the city cut back on its spending. This following Bramwell Strain's fiscal and operational performance review last week that suggested the city's spending is unsustainable. Some areas the city is having Strain look into is exploring other ownership options for NMAX Center, along with the possibility of having more than one operation in the same municipal building due to there being a higher number of municipal facilities per capita relative to our peer communities. All this extra square footage equates to higher operational costs. Council learned that they could be saving up to $15 million by doing things differently. Also on the city's agenda is exploring having schools operate their own school buses rather than the city. City Council voted to not renew the school bus operations contract with the Lethbridge School Division and the Holy Spirit Roman Catholic School Division. This means parents would be charged user fees to have their children ride the bus, and it would be costly. For the 2019-2020 school year, the school divisions anticipate paying around $2.8 million for yellow school bus services and administration. There's also close to $67,000 spent on charters such as field trips and almost $174,000 on Access a Ride. Special needs bus operating costs add up to more than $60,500. A meeting on the topic is being held at the school district this morning. We'll have more on that topic during our 5 o'clock newscast. How well would a ward electoral system work in our city as opposed to a city council? That was the question posed in a resolution at City Hall yesterday afternoon. The resolution was introduced by City Councillor Mark Campbell, who wanted to explore the option of creating a citizen committee to find out how a ward system would work here in Lethbridge. But it would come at a price tag of $10,000 to $80,000. It was defeated 5-4 because some councillors believe this is the time to be tightening the city's purse strings and not spending tens of thousands of dollars to have citizens explore an option.
There was a recommendation brought forward back budget deliberations back last year where there was talk about implementing a ward system, or at least to investigate into a ward system. As part of the open and effective government, we sat and we said, well, let's look at it. You know, with fiscal responsibility that we're dealing with right now, the $80,000, I can certainly understand that seems to be extreme into going into an election, or at least into that. Looking into what a ward system would be all about, and the talk of like $10,000 during the next election would be much cheaper. So I certainly see that end of it. $80,000 does seem seem high given our current state that we're in right now.
Other councillors believed this option would also limit access to city council if the public has to go through a respective ward member rather than approaching any councillor members with issues. Warrants have been issued for these two men charged with armed robbery outside the supervised consumption site. It occurred yesterday morning around 6:30 a.m. Police received a call that a man had been robbed by two men who came up behind him while he was standing talking to some friends outside the SCS. He told police he was punched and kicked to the ground. He said one of the men stood over him and pulled out a knife. The victim was told to empty his pockets and give over whatever money or drugs he had or he would be stabbed. Police are looking for these two men whom they have identified from surveillance video outside the SCS. 20-year-old Austin Redcrow of Lethbridge and 30-year-old Melvin George North Pagan of Lethbridge. If you have any information about their whereabouts, you are asked to call Crime Stoppers. Yesterday kicked off Addictions Awareness Week. A special walk took place starting outside City Hall to bring awareness around the supports the city has to offer.
We have representation here today from people from harm reduction, prevention, treatment, detox, enforcement, kind of all throughout our city, just to raise awarenesses, one, about the programs that we do have to offer for people with addictions in our community, as well as an opportunity to raise awareness about the complexity of addiction. If you look at the people that are here today, they all kind of represent a different area of that service and of the issue and trying to overcome what's happening in our community right now.
I think it's important, the awareness around addictions and how it affects every walk of life, and that it's not just one demographic.
Well, I've been an alcoholic myself. I've been sober, well, in my early or late 30s. I've been sober since. I'd like to bring out awareness, that people can do it, but only on their own pace.
I volunteer because I care for the people downtown. I care for them. And not to mention, I used to be part of like that before, but not anymore.
There have been many cries from business owners around the supervised consumption site in Lethbridge to have it shut down. Funding for all sites across the province is being reviewed right now. Lethbridge East MLA Nathan Newdorf says shutting down the SCS at Arches may not be the right approach.
What we need to do is say, where are we going? Harm reduction fills part of the spectrum of care, and that is valid. And it does give a lot of these people a chance at another day. So where do we want to go from here? How do we get them into treatment? How do we get them into recovery? How do we get them onto the next step? And how do we address those that, for our best efforts, don't accept those treatments?
Catch the full interview with MLA Newdorf discussing the opioid crisis in our city and where the UCP is cutting back to try and get our province back to black. That's coming up in the second half of our show. The top 40 under 40 list for 2020 is already being compiled by the Lethbridge Chamber of Commerce, and Katie Jo Rabbit's name is on the list. She's a Blackfoot woman who works in a modern world while upholding traditional Blackfoot values. She works as the assistant manager of the Samis Aboriginal Employment and Training Association. Rabbit says she's thankful that she can help other Indigenous people in our community find employment.
I think that Samis is a great place to start. We're here as mentors, and that's a really great value of First Nations because we like to mentor and help each other out. And so if you come here, we will do our best to help you do that and really set some goals to help you move forward. Currently, Samis offers a career decision-making job search program. So that is just a basic, almost a mentorship program where clients can come in, take a look at what we have to offer based on what their career plan is after meeting with an employment counselor. In the past, we have done power line technician program, we've done a carpentry program, admin and line cook in partnership with the Lethbridge College. Currently, we are running an Indigenous Entrepreneur Arts program in partnership with the Aboriginal Business Links.
For more information on the programs and services available, you can call the Samis Aboriginal Employment and Training Association at 403-320-7699. Alberta Justice Minister Doug Schweitzer announced that the province will be doubling the number of Crown articling students. The UCP says by doing so, it will strengthen our justice system with more of a focus in rural Alberta. Government articling students are law school grads who gain practical experience performing some of the duties of Crown prosecutors. The province currently hires 8 articling students per year, but 8 more will be hired by 2021. The UCP is hopeful that much of the homegrown talent will stay right here in Alberta. The UCP government did not include funding for Highway 3 twinning in last month's budget, so the Highway 3 Twinning Development Association is hoping this does not happen again in the future. They're asking the province to create a program to focus on the project and putting a minimum cost of $800,000 per 10-kilometer section for engineering. In a media release, the group says $10 million per year is needed to finalize engineering, utility relocation, and environmental impact design along the corridor. Intergovernmental Affairs Minister Chrystia Freeland will meet with Regina Mayor Michael Fuzar today, then head to the legislature to sit down with Premier Scott Moe. Moe talked about looking for ways to increase Saskatchewan's independence following what he called a disappointing meeting earlier this month with Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. But his spokesman says the Premier is looking forward to discussing key issues facing the province during his meeting with Freeland. A 23-year-old man and a 23-year-old woman died following a crash between an SUV and a sedan in northern Alberta Sunday afternoon. RCMP say the accident occurred on Highway 2, just northwest of Slave Lake. Police diverted traffic for a few hours around the crash site, which were described as icy. The highway has since reopened in both directions as police continue to investigate. Crews are battling a wind-driven brush fire that's threatening homes near the town of Goleta, north of Santa Barbara, California. The fire started at around 4 p.m. Monday in Los Padres National Forest and quickly grew to about 3,000 acres.
The fire started way up on top of Camino Cielo, and it made a real quick run down the hill because being pushed by those 15 gusting to 30 mile-an-hour winds, some spots even higher. In Montecito, they recorded 55 mile-an-hour down canyon winds. As it came down this canyon, it also created spot fires that were jumping up to a mile ahead of it. As you can see, the fires crossed 154, and now it's going down this canyon, the San Antonio Creek Canyon. It's going to make a run down an area towards some homes, which we hope we can defend, and we hope we can stop it before it gets there. The fields are very dry, and that on top of all the years of drought, and we're still short with the rainfall amount, so we're going to be looking forward to the upcoming rain.
A strong earthquake shook Albania earlier today, killing at least 4 people and injuring 150 and collapsing buildings. The U.S. Geological Survey said the magnitude 6.4 quake was centered northwest of the capital, Tirana. Well, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers arrived back home from Calgary after defeating the Hamilton Tiger Cats 33-12 to capture the Grey Cup. The championship was Winnipeg's first since 1990.
All of you guys, all of you, that's what it means to me, to bring it home to every single person here who please prove wrong for Winnipeg, for all of Manitoba. This is for you guys, and we brought it home for you.
I mean, we're just a gritty team. You know, we're a gritty team, and Winnipeg's kind of a gritty city, you know? It's great people. We got great people on this team that love each other. Such a great fan base, and I think the way that we play hard, and we play physical, and we're champions, man. And I hope all these people are proud of it. Like, I don't think I fully understood how much it meant to these people until you get off the plane, and there's this many people just waiting to greet you off the airplane. Like, I have no idea what the parade's going to be like tomorrow, but I think it's going to be absolutely nuts, and I can't wait. Like, these fans are awesome, and I can't wait to celebrate this week with them.
Yeah, I'm just happy for the fans. I'm happy that the wait is over. We're about to cut back, so we're ready to enjoy it.
Everybody's so locked in on what we had to get done, you know. I don't think it's really hit us
just yet. So, again, we're going to really enjoy the next couple of days, and it'll hit us at some point.
I've been a season ticket holder for 10 years, so not like as long as some people, but for 10 years, been through some hard times with the team, and I'm just really excited. It's sinking in more today, I think, than even yesterday, the emotions, and I just want to see them come down and be here to cheer them and let them know that we are just so thankful for this championship. Here we are. We no longer have that thing that's just eating at us, saying that we haven't won this for 29 years, and I think it's just really good for our city. The atmosphere, the joy that this is brings people together, and so I think it's really great to see.
We needed something to really lift our spirits, and this couldn't have come at a better time. Andrew Harris's second touchdown, when he caught that ball right between the two defenders, was fantastic. We were just off our seats and just screaming at the television.
And that Grey Cup parade will be held today in Winnipeg. And of course, one of the main features of that parade will be Winnipeggers running back Andrew Harris, who was named the game's most valuable player and most outstanding Canadian. That's a first in history, by the way. Harris, who is from Winnipeg and went to Oak Park High School, says the win is a dream come true.
The city is going off. This is what they've been waiting for and asking for, and we were able to deliver. And I know that they're very, very proud, very excited, and we're just looking forward to going and enjoy that with them. We've been underdogs all year, counted out all year. This is just again a dream come true.
It's such a roller coaster this year. We started off so hot, and then everything that's happened. Outside the locker room and inside the locker room. We just stuck with it, man. We just stayed close. We knew we had something special in here, and we really believed, and it paid off, man. I can't say it enough. I can't be any more proud of everybody in this organization right now.
Well, the mercury is dropping, and we've got some snow on the way. 5 to 10 centimeters is expected tomorrow. I will have the complete weather picture coming up right after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back. Here's a look at our weather highlights for today and tomorrow. In Lethbridge, a 30% chance of flurries is expected this evening, actually this afternoon and onto it this evening and into tomorrow as well. Highs of -4 degrees, that is, and -7 for tomorrow. Tomorrow could see a mix of sun and cloud as well. Looking ahead to the 5-day forecast, we're looking at flurries as well on Thursday and Friday of this week. Highs of only -10 and -12. A high of -10 on Saturday with a mix of sun and cloud, but sunshine back in the forecast for Sunday and Monday with highs of 0 and the temperature rising to 4 degrees for Monday. Not too horrible except for all that snow, so travel advisory is probably in effect there for the highways. The highs and lows of this time of year, the average high should be 2 degrees, the average low -9. The high temperature on this day was in 1939, it was 17 degrees, and it was a chilly -34 back in 1985. The sun rose this morning just before 8 a.m. It will be setting this afternoon at 4:38 p.m., which gives us just a little over 8.5 hours of sunlight. Looking to our national forecast for the West Coast, we've got a chance of rain in Victoria today with a high of 7 degrees. A mix of sun and cloud and possible showers expected in Vancouver today with a high of 5 degrees. High of -2 expected for Calgary with the snow, and a high of -3 up in Edmonton. And they're going to see some flurries there as well. We're going to see lots of flurries across the prairies today. Regina and Saskatoon, highs of -2. And over in Winnipeg, our Grey Cup champions, they will be seeing snow and a high of 0 degrees today for that Grey Cup parade. So not too bad over there. Looking to the east, Toronto will see a mix of sun and cloud with a high of 10 degrees. Ottawa, high of 7 degrees. Same with Montreal, but we are going to see possible showers in Ottawa today. Over to Atlantic Canada, we're going to see a mix of sun and cloud in Fredericton with a high of 8 degrees, but lots of sunshine in Halifax and Charlottetown today with highs of 8 degrees and 5 degrees in those cities. St. John's, Newfoundland will see a possibility of showers with some scattered clouds with a high of 4 degrees. That's your forecast. Here's a look at what's happening in your community.
Here's your Bridge City News Community Calendar. Come to the Nikayuko Japanese Garden on Friday, November 29th as they kick off the season with their Winter Light Festival, which will run until January 31st. On that evening, the gates will open at 6 p.m. with greetings from sponsors and dignitaries at 7. Admission is $9 for adults, $7 for kids ages 6 to 15, and ticket packages, which include food and drinks, are also available. For more information, visit nikayuko.com. The 15th annual Lethbridge Mayor's Prayer Breakfast is taking place Saturday, November 30th at 9 a.m. at the Sandman Signature Lethbridge Lodge. Put on by the Lethbridge Evangelical Ministerial Association, come join in the gathering to honor and pray for those who have dedicated their lives to the service of our community. Tickets are $20 and can be purchased by calling 403-308-1696 or email mpblethbridge@gmail.com. Aged Care Columbia is pleased to invite you to their Christmas market on Tuesday, December 3rd from 1 to 4 p.m. at 785 Columbia Boulevard West in Lethbridge. Open to the whole family. Find custom-made crafts, clothing, decor, household goods, baking, and more. Also, get a picture with Santa for $1 and enjoy delicious hot chocolate with cookies for $2. Proceeds will go to the Lethbridge Food Bank. And that's your Bridge City News Community Calendar.
The very first cargo carrying robot is now on sale just in time for Christmas. Its makers believe that it is the future, but with a price tag of $3,250 US, who's ready to ditch their second vehicle for this two-wheeled rover?
Jita is a mobile carrier. It's a robot, and it enables you to make pedestrian mobility choices. Instead of reaching for the keys to the car, you can go out for a walk with Jita.
Oh my goodness! That is so cool. I just didn't want to go out because it's so cold, so I ordered it to bring me lunch.
Yeah, so you can like walk to the market and stuff.
That's cool. We will.
The problem with the Jita is that grocery delivery is something that's much easier done by grocery stores or e-commerce players than it is by somebody buying a $3,000+ robot to actually follow them down the block.
We're trying to make the thing that's not going to keep you in front of a screen longer. We're trying to get you out in the world and connected with that neighborhood you decided to move to because it was so walkable.
Well, it appears as though many investors are choosing to park their money in the U.S. instead of Canada. A senior policy analyst with the Fraser Institute says Canada may be losing its competitive advantage in the oil and gas sector. Paul Arthur will have that interview coming up right after the break. Keep it right here.